All right. What's going on, everybody? What is going on, guys? What's up, my lifers? We are live, and forgive me if the sound quality is a little bit different. I am in um, Atlanta and in my room, and I'm extremely tired, so I probably look like I'm extremely tired. um, but I wanted to go ahead and do the show anyway because I thought it would be a really good topic. Um, so yeah, guys, I hope all of my lifers are doing well tonight. Let me know if you can hear me, guys. Um, I'm having to use these little earbuds tonight, so let me know how is the sound so far, guys. I know it's gonna take a while for everyone to come into the room, but let me know how a little softer than it normally is. I'm not on my big mic, but I'll try to hold this thing as close to my face as I can to make it as audible as possible. What's up, Michelle M? What's going on, Great Dane? Good to see you as usual. Oh man, my girl Tina Marie J is in the chat. Man, it is good to see you, Tina. I haven't talked to you in so long. It is really good to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us tonight, Tina. How are you doing? How are you doing, Tina? You gotta tell me how you are, Tina Marie J. I miss talking to you. It has been a long time. A long time. Okay. I think everything is gonna. I miss you too, Tina, for real. It's good to see you, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. Much better. Much better. Great. Doing really, really well. Yeah, this is interesting too, and I know you probably have a lot to say on this topic too, Tina. I'm pretty positive, based on all of our conversations, that you are someone who deals in the law of attraction as well. So I'm sure you would have a lot to say. Um, Guys, make sure you remember now, I would like for you to call in tonight and share your stories about the law of attraction. What's up, Chris Scott? How you doing, brother? I'm glad you're doing. I hope you're doing well as well. And I'm good. I'm glad to see you. Period, Tina. It's really, really good to see you. Really good to see you. Okay. So we'll wait a few more minutes before we jump in. Yeah, man, I am extremely tired. Me and my boy Todd left at about 7 this morning and drove down here to Atlanta, and then have been kind of doing stuff all day, and felt like I was about to crash, but I said no, I gotta go ahead and get this show going. So yeah, man. What's up, Daniel Brown? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. Good to see you in the chat. But yeah, we're trying to get this business thing going and figure out how it's going to work out. It seems like it's going to be pretty profitable. So I may be spending a lot of time in Atlanta here in the next few weeks and months. So yeah, I'm gonna have to bring my little rig with me a lot, but we'll see. We'll get it done. We'll get it popping. We'll keep it popping. Now, don't forget, guys, you can call in tonight. Chris Scott's Great Dane says someone told me they think I was your first caller when you first started doing these. Is that true? Yes, it is, Great Dane. You were the first person to ever call in this show. So, yes. Chris Scott says, what do you know about being an empath? Hmm. I'm sure we will touch on that tonight. Deidre says, Keith, when the calls start, I like to call first because I'm expecting a call at some point, but I know you want me to speak. So, yes, everybody wants you to speak, Deidre. What's up today, forever? What's going on? It's good to see you in the chat. It is good to see you, man. It's good to see everybody popping in here, man. I appreciate you guys so much, man. I appreciate you all so much. I tell you what, Chris Scott, why don't you call in and we can talk about all of that stuff? Because I don't want to pretend as if I know everything, because I don't. I know a little bit about being an empath. What's up, Cleo Banks? Cleo Banks, you should have been on the show last night. Your call, I guarantee you, you would have called and it would have been a great call. You should have called. You should have been here on the phones last night, Cleo. JJ Jr., what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Very good to see you. Nikki T, what's going on? Foxy Loxy, what's up, Foxy Loxy? Good to see you in the chat as well. Oh man, your boy, I look like I've been up for about 6 weeks straight. And I feel like I've been up for about 6 weeks straight. I didn't get hardly any sleep last night because I was up packing, making sure I had everything together. So I am tired, but this was too important because you guys, man, you guys mean so much seeing you in the show. Now, I've always thought to an extent that I had a bit of an empath slash psychic ability. I used to ride the bus a lot. And in doing that, I would always be around a lot of people. And so there would be a lot of times where I would bump into people and I would get a feeling for what that person was feeling. It almost got to the point where I would literally make sure I steered clear of people because I would be in a great mood and then I would bump into somebody or be near somebody and I would get so much energy from what they were feeling that it would literally affect my day. And I had to get to a point where for a while until I realized what was happening that I couldn't be near people and I couldn't hear people's stories because for some reason I was always a person that people always wanted to talk to about whatever they were experiencing in their lives. And most of the time, a person would come up to me to talk to me about something, and I would already know what they were going to talk about before they started talking. And I had to catch myself. I would have to say to myself, don't say it, because if I say it, it's going to seem as if I'm not really listening to them. So a lot of times I would just allow them to speak, even though I knew what they were getting ready to talk about. But one time I actually did say, okay, I know what you're getting ready to say. And I didn't tell them that, but she started talking to me. And I said, you're about to tell me about how your boyfriend has a weed problem and it's messing up your relationship. And she just looked at me and she said, how did you know that? And it was because it was so specific. And she was just blown away. And I said, okay, it's all right. Go ahead and finish your story. But I knew that you were going to tell me that. So I feel like I've had that as a part of me. I also think that that is why so many people relate to me here on YouTube, because even when people call in or when I interview people, I'm just someone that, or when I go out, anybody that knows me for a long time would always say, you have so many. It's like people just always come up and talk to you. Anywhere I go, I don't have a problem talking to people, and people never have a problem talking to me. They always come up and talk to me because I think of just the energy that I put out. So I've always kind of thought that that was something that I had a little bit of too. Chris Scott says, you an empath, brother. Hey, maybe so, man. Michelle M, thank you so much for your $2 donation. I really appreciate you. Michelle M says, appreciate what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you guys so much. Michelle M says, question, K Fitz, how long have you been here on YouTube? Since February of 2018. So a little over a year. Today Forever says, every time I go to ATL, I need a vacation. Atlanta is such an active city. There are so many opportunities there also. I'm always scouting there for retirement. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, and it actually makes me feel a little anxious about being here because I've never wanted to live here, and I've never wanted to stay here for an extended period of time. But I feel like I'm going to have to. And it kind of leads to what that question that was asked about being an empath that I think it's Chris Scott asked. I really had to take a long walk because this will segue into our conversation tonight, guys, about the law of attraction. So let's just jump in. Michelle M. Just Liz says, hey y'all, ooh, we got a clock. So y'all are so funny, man. Calm down, man. Calm down. Judean says, oh yeah, MKT. I think everybody appreciated your call in yesterday, bro. It was really good, and thank you for doing that. It was a really good call, brother. JJ Jr. says it's just a natural gift. Yeah, I think that a lot of people have it, but a lot of people are afraid to be open and tap into the gifts that they were given because we've been trained so much to look outside of who we are and what we have instead of just realizing that almost, if not all, of what we need is inside here. And I think the people who control the world know that, and they are at an advantage if they make sure that the people who are subservient to them don't realize how great they are. Yeah. JJ Jr. says, my wife trips on me because I have that same gift of attracting people. She truly thinks I know the world. Hey, I've heard that so many times, dude. It's crazy. I remember when me and my ex-girlfriend were going to she came over one day and we were just going to get some stuff, and I went by this tobacco store to get some hookah stuff, and the guy that owns the store, I walked in, he was like, hey buddy, how you doing, buddy? And we just sat there and talked for like 10 minutes, and she was like, you know him? And I was like, yeah, I do now. Then we went to Kroger, and this African dude was there, and he was like, what's up, my brother? And I was like, what's up, brother? And we sat and talked for 10 minutes, and then we went to this other place, and she said, why do you know everybody? I said, because why shouldn't I? Why shouldn't I know everybody? If I come somewhere all the time, I should at least be able to speak to people. So it's like everywhere I would go, people would always know who I was, and I would know people. And it's a gift. A lot of people don't have that gift, but a lot of us do, and we just don't realize it. You know what I mean? So yeah, to segue into this conversation about the law of attraction. The law of attraction, man, is according to the people who seem to think that they have, invented this thing. Not necessarily invented it, but brought it back to the forefront of what people realize what it is. Basically, my interpretation of what the law of attraction is the ability for you to consciously manifest the thoughts that you have in your mind and bring those thoughts and things that you desire to have in this world, to be able to manifest them from your mind, from your imagination, into the real world. And I have been able to do that for a very long time, a very long time. And there are a lot of things that happen to you as a result of having that ability. For me, a lot of people would really become jealous of the ability that I have. I've always had the ability to say, okay, I want to do this, this, and this. And through the power of my imagination, I've always been able to do it. I've always been able to manifest it. I bought the book The Secret, and there was a part in it that really stuck with me. But it's basically saying that the world, your world or our world, is basically like a television, and you can broadcast whatever picture you want from your mind into the television of our world. And if you don't like what you're seeing on the television screen of your world, and I'm paraphrasing, then you just change the channel. And you change the channel by changing your vibration. Whatever a man focuses on, that is what that man will become. And that's man, I mean humans. The thing that we focus on the most are the things that we attract into our lives. So if we, especially here in this XJW community, we have been trained so much to think toward the negative things in life. And we have been programmed to think, if you leave this organization, your life will be shit. And no matter what any of us say, that is something that has stuck with us for a very long time. I'm sure most of us, when we left that organization, had that same thought process or that same fear in the back of our mind. And until you get to a point where you can say, no matter what those people said to me, I know this is some programming that's inside my mind, but I'm going to have to deprogram myself in order to get myself out of that way of thinking. Because in actuality, by thinking that and dwelling on that, if I leave the organization, my life is going to be shit. According to the law of attraction, you are actually manifesting that into your life. You know what I mean? So that is my definition or my interpretation of what the law of attraction is. Now, if someone were to ask me, does it work? I would say, hell yes. Okay, so let's see. Deidre, let's let you go ahead and call in, because you'll fuck around and punk out. So let's let you go ahead and call in before you get scared in this joint. Go ahead and call in. Go ahead and call in, Deidre, so we can get your thoughts on this thing. And forgive me, I'm not going to be as quick to do things as normal because I am on my little laptop with half a screen. So I'm trying to get around as quickly as I can. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right. You are on. Is this Deidre?
Hello.
How
How you
you? I
doing?
am doing amazing, Deidre. How are you doing?
I am awesome. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody.
So share your experience, Deidre. Since you're the new moderator, you can boot people out, you can put people in timeout, put them against the wall. You got the power now. So tell us about
Oh,
your
wow.
experience with the law of attraction. How does it work? How
All
has it worked for
right.
you, and what do you do with it, and what do you think about it?
Well, you know what? I love the law of attraction. I'm so in love with it that I think I'm going to build a business around it, Keith.
Okay.
I got to.
Okay.
But my first experience with it was years ago, back in the 90s. I was like really, really depressed, thinking about having been in the organization and, all that
Mm-hmm.
had done to me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just desperate. I wanted to know what is true for everybody. I wanted to know what the universal law is.
Okay.
God's law, not man's law.
Okay.
And so I had told myself, you know what? I'm going to find some information I'm going to read, and I want all this stuff to come to me for free because I was broke. I
Okay.
was losing everything.
Okay.
And I met someone that owned a store, and all the books that I wanted, he gave to me for free.
Wow. Did you have on a short skirt or something, or you showing your cleavage?
No, I did not. I was not that kind of person. I didn't, but that was
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that happened. But the second thing that happened was, years later. In fact, it was probably, I think it was 2009.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a position to, well, I was with someone,
Okay.
and we were thinking about getting married, and we wanted to have children, right?
Okay.
So I kept saying to myself, I want to be a mom. I'm getting older. At the time I was like 40 something. I'm getting older. I
Okay.
need to have children in my life. I have all this love to give. I got to give it to somebody. Well, he and I didn't work out. But the
Okay.
very next year, do you know, two children were dropped on my door.
Like
They were
literally?
my literally they were my nephew's children. He wasn't in a position to take care of his kids. His girlfriend who had the children wasn't in a position to take care of the kids. They wanted me to take care of them. I was
Okay.
like the only one in the family who was like free,
Okay.
and able to do that.
Okay.
And I did that. That's how those children came to me. I never gave birth. I never had children of my own, but these were my children for 8 years.
Wow.
It was a beautiful, beautiful experience. And yes, the law of attraction works. What you feel is what you feel is what you will attract. Not so much what you think, unless you think it often with feeling. Those are the things that we bring to us.
Well, see, I had read that as well, and a lot of my research also said that you have to attach emotion to what you're imagining,
Mhm.
and the emotion is what actually attracts it to you. Not like you said, not just the imagining, but if you have a strong enough emotion with what you're
Yeah.
thinking, that's what draws it to you. Now, what was your process for manifesting these two kids that the stork brought you?
I was feeling them, feeling as if they were here with me, as if I was mothering them,
Mm-hmm.
like right in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
Doing things, playing with them, taking them places, and all that stuff. They weren't there physically, but then they came, and those are the things that happened.
Did
You
you
know.
ever have times where you actually doubted that these things were going to happen? And if so, how did you deal with that? Because according to what I've researched with the law of attraction,
Mhm.
once you start to doubt things, you retard your manifestation from happening. And I know
Yes.
that none of us are perfect. We're all going to have those doubtful times.
Mhm.
But the more doubtful times you have, the more you push back your manifestation, according to the to what I've
Yes.
researched. Now, another thing I've researched is that they say you only have to have about 51% confidence that what you want is going to happen. The other 49%
Mhm.
is irrelevant. As long as you have more confidence than you do doubt, you'll get
Uh
your
huh.
manifestation. So I'm sure at some
Yeah.
point you had doubt. How did you deal with that?
I didn't have doubt about that. The one thing that I have a lot of trouble with, even to this day, doubt about, is being wealthy. And
Mm.
you know why? I think the reason why is because I grew up as a JW, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I was always told that being, I'm not really materialistic, but I suppose I was as a kid. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted things that I did not have, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I had this problem with money, wanting more money than I had, and being kind of like what chastised, I guess,
Okay.
for having those desires, having wanting money, wanting a big house, wanting this, wanting that, and even to this day, I cannot shake that. I can't shake that feeling. So I think that's where my blockage is.
Okay.
As far as other things, I don't have a problem at all. In fact, let me see, when was this? My nephew moved in with us in October, and he
Okay.
needed a car.
Okay.
During the time that, I'm sorry, I'm taking up all your time.
No, you take
Um,
your time, please. Call it. Finally, you finally
okay.
called in, so take your time.
Well, he needed a car. He was using our car to drive to work. He was working third shift.
Okay.
And he said that he wanted a particular kind of car.
Okay.
So when he said that, I was thinking, well, I know how to bring this about. So
Mm-hmm.
let's see if we can work this out. So the first thing you have to do is know that it's going to come. You don't doubt God.
Okay.
I read somewhere that doubting God is a sin. Doubting his ability is a sin because he can do anything, and he will if we would just believe, right?
Okay.
So I just got this feeling in me that he had his car, and I just thanked God. I just thanked him. I just felt this feeling of almost, not really ecstasy, but just so, so happy and grateful that this car was here,
Okay.
that, and so I just let it go. I let it go. Weeks and actually months passed before the car came. He got the car 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Wow. Wow.
Yeah, he was not able. He didn't have the credit.
Okay.
He had nothing going for him as far as getting his car.
Okay.
But things worked out, and he got it.
How long did that manifestation take, roughly?
That particular one, let's see, October, November, 5 months. That particular one.
That's not that long at all.
It was long for me because I was really wanting to get a car, like now.
But I mean, in the
you
grand scheme
know?
of things, 5 months, that's not a lot of
hmm
time. I mean, you manifested that pretty quickly.
I could just manifest the house I want. I've seen this house in my head, Keith, since 1984. I drew it out because I'm sort of like I shouldn't say an architect, but I can draw.
Okay.
I can draw houses and floor plans and all that stuff. I
Okay.
drew this house in 1984, and I want this house so bad. I can't imagine living anywhere else but in this house.
Okay.
So if I can get past all my blockages, I'll let you guys know. You can come over and we'll party and all.
Hey. We have a big XJW celebration at Deidre's.
Yes.
Oh man, that's a great story. So is there anything else besides your house that you're working on manifesting right now?
Yeah, I'm working on manifesting not being so shy.
Well, it looks like you did a good job with that tonight because you don't seem shy at all. You finally called. You
I,
seem like you are all on top of this call.
you know why? Because this is my favorite subject.
Really?
This is my absolute favorite. Yep, that is why.
Okay. Okay. I see because you are bubbling on this call. I'm like, is this Deidre? Is this shy Deidre that never wants to call in? Because she is all about it tonight.
Oh my goodness! Any other time, I'm just typing.
I know, right? I know.
Right.
So,
Yes.
what advice would you give to somebody
Mhm.
that is trying to manifest something now
Mhm.
and feels like one, it's not real, or
Mhm.
two, that it's not going to work because they don't truly have the power to do it?
Well, first of all, they have to know that they do have the power to do it.
Mm-hmm.
This power that we have, I feel it was God given. It was His way of empowering us to make our lives as we want it to be.
Okay.
You know, it's simple, but I guess it's not easy because of the things that I don't know we grow up with, the things people have poured into our minds. You're not good enough. You don't deserve this, and all. That was my problem, feeling undeserving.
Right.
You know,
Right.
yeah. So okay, but this is what you have to do. Just imagine a scene where you are experiencing this thing that you truly desire.
Mm-hmm.
You have to feel it and involve all your senses. Smell something, like if flowers are around, smell flowers. Hear something, hear someone say something that you want to hear. Touch something, a piece of furniture or something. Involve all your senses in this scene that you're creating.
Mm-hmm.
And don't doubt. Just dare. Dare to assume that you are this person. Even if it's just for, a few minutes. Just
Okay.
do that and feel the best feeling that you can possibly feel. And thank God. That's the most important thing. Thank him, because he hears you. He knows what it is you want. And it doesn't matter what it is you want, It does not matter.
Okay.
Yeah. So do that. Just, create the scene. Feel it with all of the good emotion that you possibly can, and thank God. And
Hey.
then let it go.
Hold now. That is the important thing. That is
Mhm.
the important thing. The letting it go part.
Yeah.
Because even for me personally, why did I say me
Mhm.
personally? I hate when people say that. For me, the hard part is saying, okay, I have put my intention out.
mhm.
I know it'll come back.
Mhm.
My issue that I have, even though I have made it work, the thing that always holds me back is that I start to obsess about that thing. And I can't, and I
Mhm.
don't release it and just say, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen. I just know that it's going to happen. That is so easy
Mhm.
for me to say right now. But in the process of manifesting that thing, the letting go part is the issue that I have, and I think a lot of people have, because they confuse letting go with giving up.
Ah.
And with me, if I think, okay, I'm just going to let it go, sometimes I think that means I'm actually giving up on it. And that's not what you mean. So, what do you mean when you say let it go?
By letting it go, don't obsess over not having it.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking, oh man, this ain't gonna happen for me, and who am I to think that? And just give it to God. You know how
Mm-hmm.
they say, let go and let God.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just let it go and trust Him.
Right.
Trust Him. Trust that He's gonna do it,
There
and
you
He
go.
will.
There you go. I think you put a pretty little bow on that one, Deidre.
Well, good. I hope I helped somebody.
Everybody's listening to what you're saying. You're getting some good responses in the chat. So thank you so
Awesome.
much for finally being brave enough to call in.
Oh yes, thank you guys so much. I love all of you.
All right. Thank you. Are you going to stay in the chat or do you have to leave?
Yes, I'm going to stay until that call comes in.
Okay. All right. Thank you for
Yep.
calling, DJ. We'll
Okay.
talk to you in the chat.
Okay. All righty.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye. My aunt is messing with me. She always doing stuff. My aunt is messing with me. Um, so great call. And I think I even saw that Tina Marie said that she still has that problem, that her problem was the feeling unworthy part. And I think a lot of us who have left that organization have that same issue. The issue that you've been programmed, or we've been programmed to think that we don't deserve to have things like that, like the things that we deeply desire and want, like we don't deserve to have those things. That is an issue that I think a lot of us have. I've had that issue. I mean, even with moving into my home, there was about a year, that I still thought I don't deserve to be in this place. So the deserving thing is really difficult, and I think, excuse me, that part of making a manifestation actually happen, prior to even just the visualization and feeling it, that you have it, you have to feel worthy enough to be deserving of that thing in the first place. And that comes from just having enough love for yourself and enough trust in yourself that God has given you the tools that you need to be able to do the things that you want to do with your life. So, who is this? Great Dane. Yes, you are the first caller. Now, what I would really, I think, and the other people in the chat too, would like you to call in and tell us what you mean by your statement. You said, may I suggest that you are confusing causation with correlation? I believe there is no law of attraction magic. It's simply your focus, perceptions, and responses. Can you call and tell us what you mean by that? That would be great for us to hear your explanation of that. Aramis, did you say you were going to call in, bro? All right, let's see who this is. Hello, you are on the show. Please tell us where you're calling from.
Dane, and I'm calling from Connecticut, USA.
What's up, Great Dane? I'm sorry, I thought my laptop was plugged up, but it wasn't. So I ended up losing everything. So give me 1 second to get everything back to where it's supposed to be. Hold on 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Hold on 1 second here. Okay. What do I need to do here? 1 second. Because I think you guys can't see me at all, right?
It was buffering, and then when I called, I just turned it off so that I wouldn't get feedback, so I don't know.
Okay, let me see here. All right, I think we're back. I think we are back in business. We are in the game. Okay, Great Dane. So yeah, explain exactly what you mean by your statement. I think it's a very interesting statement. You said, may I suggest that you're confusing causation with correlation? I believe there is no law of attraction magic. It's simply your focus, perceptions, and responses. What exactly do you mean by that?
Okay. So, first of all, I didn't understand the concepts of causation, correlation until I went to college, which was in my 30s.
Okay.
And here's the example that was told to me by the professor that helped me to understand the difference between the two.
Okay.
He said if you took 1,000 people and you put 500 of them, they only drink wine.
Okay.
High-end wine.
Okay.
And you take 500 that only drink beer.
Okay.
Just regular beer. And you follow them for, 40, 50 years.
Okay.
You would find out that the people who drink wine live longer and state that they have a happier life. One would assume that the causation is that, wine either makes you smarter or better, or it has some properties in it that are better for you, as opposed to beer.
Mm-hmm.
He said, however, that's not the cause. The people who can afford good quality wine typically have good health insurance, they got good jobs, they live in a nicer house. In general, the people that drink beer may have less of an income, might have access to some of the benefits of a more affluent lifestyle.
Okay.
He said, so there is a correlation, but it's not a causation with the alcohol. Did I explain that well enough to kind of get you at least for you to understand that?
I completely understand what you're saying, and I think you explained it very well. The issue that I have with... I'm sorry, go ahead and finish your thought. I don't want to cut you off. Keep going.
No, well, okay, so I think that there is a correlation with the law of attraction and getting those things that you want or need.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time, please.
I do believe there is a correlation between the law of attraction and getting what you want or need.
Okay. But
so, because if you think about something, you get up in the morning and you're thinking, for example, I want to get a better job, or I want this to come into my life, then you're on the lookout for that.
Okay.
If you're being able to articulate what it is you want, if you don't know what you want with words, just I want a better life. Well, that doesn't really kind of work. You have to say I want $400 a month more in income. Well, now being able to articulate that, now you can kind of think about ways to get it. You talk about it to the person, in the bus next to you. You say it to your boss when you get to work. You just, oh yeah, man, I've been looking for a car. Can't find one that we can afford. And pretty soon, I know somebody who knows somebody, and you correlate that to this law of attraction. Now, this is just my belief, my thinking. So there is a correlation, but I don't think it's the causation. I think the same thing could be said about, vision boards and, prayer. How many times have we, as former Jehovah's Witnesses, or even as current Christians or whatever, were 100% sure we were talking with God and that He did something in our life? When in fact, it just happened. It happened not because He caused it, but because we were thinking about it, because we were wanting it, because we were anticipating it, because we were hoping for it. So I just think that when we're talking about bringing in things into our lives, we have to differentiate between causational things and
correlative things.
Correlation things that just correlate to it. That's just my thought.
I totally hear what you're saying, Great Dane, and I think there is a lot of truth in what you're saying. The only place where I would sway from what you're saying a bit would be in focusing on what you want. Let me backtrack. I would say that a lot of the things that we tried to manifest as Jehovah's Witnesses, where we thought were actually going to happen, probably didn't happen because they were based on a lie. And I feel like that in order for you to be able to manifest something, it has to be something that you are doing in truth. And to try to manifest something based on a big lie, whether it's a lie that you know is a lie or is a lie that you don't know is a lie, I think it is still rooted in a lie, which will prevent you from being able to manifest that, because I think manifestations generally have to come from a place of truth and from a good place. So whether you are knowingly or unknowingly manifest something based on a lie, it's still a lie, and I don't think it's going to manifest properly in that sense. Now
So let me ask. Go ahead, and I have a question for you.
No, go ahead, ask your question.
So do you believe, is it your view, that there is magical vibrations in the universe that somehow our brains, hopes and desires move and thus things happen?
I believe if you go by science, or if you go by the Bible, even if you don't believe in the organization, if you just say, okay, I believe in the Creator, I believe in God, I believe in the Bible, whatever you believe in, whether you believe in the Bible or not, there are things in the Bible that I think are scientific facts that are just in there. And even me and my friend Todd were talking about this. The Bible even says when you if you speak something, speak as though it has happened. Believe that it has already happened. If you even go into the creation story of the Bible, God just spoke shit into existence. It's not like he went into a toolbox and started getting earth parts and universe parts and parts to build light and parts to build gravity and parts to build atoms. According to the Bible, he just spoke this shit into existence. And that's how it happened. And it happened because he said it was going to happen. And
maybe that's where we diverge in our thought process. I physically left the religion at 16, still totally believing it, but out.
When you say you left the religion, do you mean religion in general or just the organization?
No, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay, got you.
But I knew they was right. Knew it. Then around 21, I kind of believed maybe they weren't, but things were hanging on. But 100% believed in God and the Bible and all of that. Went to many different churches. Kind of got settled into a Southern Baptist. Really enjoyed that. Totally 100% believed.
Right.
Fast forward.
Hold on one second. Let me. Okay, reconnection. It's reconnecting, guys. Sorry about that, Great Dane.
It's okay.
There were times where this law of attraction actually worked for me, and I don't think it's magic. I honestly think it's the same way we can't really explain gravity. The same way that we know if we drop something, that shit's going down. It's a law. And I think that same thing correlates with our minds, because our minds are powerful. If we have the Creator within us, then we have parts of those same abilities. And especially if the Creator said, this is how you do it. Believe as if it has already happened. That is a very simple thing, even though it may not be easy. It's a very simple thing. And even in my own life, when I didn't have anything, the one thing that I did have was my ability to say, I am going to do this, and this is going to happen. And I promise, literally 9 times out of 10, or almost 10 times out of 10, if I've concentrated on something enough, that shit happened exactly like I planned it to happen. And the course to get there may not have been the course I thought, but the end result has pretty much always been exactly what I have wanted the end result to be, simply because I focused on it enough. But that goes back to your previous point.
That goes back to your previous point when you said that we oftentimes have feelings that we don't deserve things.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving yourself the credit that maybe you did some stuff to make that happen.
Oh, I'm giving myself complete credit for it. My focus, that's what the law of attraction is. Me focusing on it, and me that end result is a result of my manifestation. It's a result of me saying, this is going to happen. I don't care how it's going to happen. It's going to happen. That is all me. That is all me. And I don't necessarily, and yes, I'm thankful to God, the universe, that it happened. But at the same time, I've always been of the thought process that I don't necessarily think God interacts in every little movement that we do. I'm sure we can ask for help. We can ask for direction. But at the same time, I also think God is like, dude, I've given you a big piece of me in there. The kingdom is inside you. You can do it. You can do it. I might sit back and watch, and I might just sit and watch and see what happens. But you can totally make that shit happen. And so I feel like, yeah, I'm not somebody that always gives up the good things that happen in my life to someone else, but accepts responsibility for all the bad things. I don't believe in that. If something bad happens in my life, I say, you know what, Keith, you got to suck that shit up. That was your fault. If something good happens in my life, I say, Keith, you got to suck that shit up because that was your fault. So I congratulate myself for the good things as well as condemn myself for the dumb shit I do. So I disagree with you there. I do accept responsibility for the good things. I think it is something that I have manifested. But what do you think?
But you're giving credit to this. You're giving credit to this other entity almost, this law of attraction.
No, it's that, and I think that's where the disconnect happens between, like you say, you think that's where you think we differ. I think that's where we differ as well, because I think you are giving an ability that we have. You are associating it with a disconnect from who we are, when in actuality, that ability is also who we are at the same time. It's not a separate thing. It's the same way where if I tell you right now to picture a red pickup truck, and you can see that pickup truck even though it's not inside your brain, your imagination is still part of who you are, even though you picturing that pickup truck is in some other place that we can't put a physical attachment to. Like, I can see that red pickup truck right now, but I can't touch it. I don't know where it is, but it's part of me because I am projecting that picture somewhere right now that I can see. And so the same way that happens, this law of attraction is something that is in us, even though we can't put any tangible hold on it. It's there, just like our conscience. We can't pinpoint where that is, but it's in there and it's part of us. And whether we admit it or not, most of us have a conscience. We don't know where it is, but it's there. And it's a law that if you violate your conscience, you are going to feel something from doing that. Much in the same way as that if you have this law of attraction inside you and you focus on something, you are going, and you feel something from that, you are going to get a result from that. That's where I think it comes into play at.
Well, I respect you, and the most important thing is, I guess, is you're happy, and it's working for you.
Great, Dad, you are hilarious. Now, what is like, if you could share your what is the main thing that you see as not real about this law of attraction? Because I feel like I don't blame you for it. I feel like you almost have some kind of disdain for it. You're like, oh, that's dumb. Like, what is your main issue with it?
I guess because I'm older than you,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen things. I've been around. I've watched more things that I guess concepts of, I don't know, sky daddies and magical things, and we all want it. We all hope for it, and it makes us feel good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been my experience, my observation, that we have to make things happen. That can include a whole lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
but we have to take action. We have to do research. We have to search out what it is that we want. Talk to others,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess it's the I've passed there is mystical, magical, unprovable things in the universe that are good for us type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit more of a pragmatic person, I guess, at this age.
Well, I can relate to you because I have been that way for a long time. I have been that way for a very long time, where I can't. We've been talking for a long time. This is great. I hope somebody else calls in with a conversation that's great. I didn't believe in shit after I left the organization. I was like, I'm not believing in none of that. I don't want to hear it. It's dumb. I'm sick of it. All it's done is made me unhappy for the first 30 years of my life. I don't want to hear none of that. Right? And I still, to an extent, have that feeling inside me because there's a lot of things about religion that I don't agree with. I think some of it is BS. I think the way that we've been taught about it is so wrong. What I can't any longer deny is that there have been times where I asked for a sign, where I said, if you are real, if there is something out there that can help me in this situation, give me a sign. Now, whether you want to say that the result of that question was going to happen anyway, or happened because I asked and there was some type of intervention, yes, we will never be able to definitively prove that. 100% agree with that statement, Great Dane. We won't be able to say, here's the test and here's the result, and we know that we won't be able to do that shit. But at the same time, the way you said we have to get out and do things to make things happen, the very initiate of action is thought. The only way that you're going to have a thought to say, I want this to happen so that I can get to this end result, the only way that happens is by you initiating a thought and focusing on that thought and saying, okay, I can't just go outside and it happens. How is it going to happen? You have to focus on it. You have to write things down. You have to think about it. You have to think it through. You might have to write it on a board. You might have to write it on some paper. You might have to go out and ask someone. But initially, the thing that starts all of that happening is your conscious thought. Would you agree or would you disagree?
No, I would agree with what you've said. Yep.
So in that sense,
but I don't think that negates my thought.
Well, that's true. It may not negate your thought, but what I'm saying is, I don't think it's an issue of whether or not it negates your thought, as much as does it support the idea that if you're going to achieve something, it has to start with your thought and you focusing on it in order for it to happen. That's the point, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, be honest. I'm not going to judge you for saying being honest. I love talking to you, Great Dane. What do you think? Tell me what you think.
No, that's okay. I don't. You know what? I've passed being judged too, so I don't mind you judging me.
I am not judging you.
I don't mind
at all.
Because I've been there and passed through that.
So, do you consider yourself an like, what if someone were to ask you what your stance on religion was per se? What would you say you were, or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, that was kind of where I was going. That was where I was going before. I wanted to believe in the whole concept of God in the Bible, and whether it's Christian or some other or whatever, but there has to be something there. I wanted it to be true for so long. And for me, I've come to the conclusion that there is no creator of us.
Okay.
So at this point, I am an atheist.
Okay.
So maybe that's kind of where you and I kind of, can't see things, because you see things in a little bit more spiritual way, and I see things in a little bit more of an earthly way.
And I because I have seen things in both ways, I understand where you're coming from. I think the difference in what you think I think and what I actually think is is that I don't necessarily give that power away from me. I believe that any of that power that you're discussing that someone would attribute to another thing, I attribute to me, and I attribute to you, and I attribute to my boy Todd and everybody else that's in the chat. I honestly believe that we are all creators here on this planet, because anything that's on this planet, with the exception of the things that grow out of the planet, is something that someone on this planet thought and manifested it onto this earth. It's all, the whole world, not the earth, but the whole world is a result of people's manifestations. We are just on this planet manifesting shit, right? And so if we have that ability to create on this world, then we are in fact the manifestors of this planet. We can pretty much create whatever we can physically create on this planet. We can do it. We can make it. It's laser guns and shit now.
You're saying those manifestations come to us. That's the law of attraction. You're attracting that manifestation. What I'm saying is, no, you got to go make that manifestation happen. That's all.
Okay.
Let somebody else call in and have a turn.
I see what you're saying. We're saying the same thing in two different ways. That's what it is, really.
All right.
Thanks for calling, Great Daniel. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was a great call. Great call. I always enjoy talking to Great Dane. I need my boy Todd to come in and call on this. Todd has a lot to say about stuff like this, guys. My boy Todd would be like, what? Todd will break some stuff down for us in here. Let's look at this. Oh, we got another call. Y'all are calling tonight. Yes. Thank you. Hello, you are on the My Life Show. What's your name and where you calling from? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Hey, can you turn down
Hello?
can you turn your computer down?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Let me
Hey,
turn
no
it down.
problem. No problem.
Okay. I turned it down.
Thank
Is
you.
that better?
That is a little bit
You're
better.
welcome.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Kay. I'm calling from New York.
Okay. Okay. So what do you think about this law of attraction business?
Well, I actually had two things to say. I believe in law of attraction.
Okay.
And I just had like two silly stories that happened to me that was in line with the law of attraction.
Okay.
One of them was I was actually walking one day and I was just thinking to myself, I want to have brunch, but I don't want to pay for it. And so I was just walking down the street, like thinking that thought over and over again. It'd be nice to go out for brunch, but I don't want to have to spend my own money to pay for it. And then I actually was walking and I looked down on the ground and in front of me was like a $20 bill. So
wow.
That was my brunch money. So, and
I was about
the
to I was about to jump all over you and be like, hold up. That's a different law of attraction. That's because you're a girl. And some dude was like, yeah, I'm attracted to her. I'm going to buy her lunch. I was like, that shit don't count.
No.
I was like, the law of attraction, that shit works for all girls. That's different.
Right.
That's a different law of attraction.
No, that's different. That's a different kind of attraction.
Right.
Right.
I was like, that shit don't count.
Right. No.
Okay.
And then the other story was I was actually running really late and I needed to catch a train, and the train was about to pull out, but I didn't have money on my card.
Mm-hmm.
So I ran up to the machine and I'm fumbling through my wallet trying to find money, and actually the machine started spitting money at me, like
what?
dollar bills at me. Yes.
Did you steal them all?
So, what's that?
Did you steal all the money?
Did I steal all the money? No. But I just thought it was interesting that I was looking for money and I was late and panicking and was just intensely thinking, I need money, and I can't, get it out fast enough. Mm-hmm. And the machine just starts spitting money at me.
You took that money. Don't lie. I would have took it too. I'm not going to judge you for taking it. I would have taken it too. You took that money. Go ahead. It's all right. I won't snitch on you.
No, I did not.
You took that money, and it is totally okay because the universe wants you to have that money. The universe is like, motherfucker, take this money. Just don't say that. Just take it.
You're funny.
So those are your two stories. Those are my
two stories.
Has it worked for you in any other way besides those two stories?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, so you and the conversation that you and Great Dane were having, to me, that was a conversation about semantics. I think that both of you were kind of saying the same things, but in very different ways.
That's exactly what I said at the end of the conversation. I said I think we're saying the same thing in different ways. Yeah. I agree.
And then also, I mean, there's also a different coloration to what she was saying too, and that doesn't mean two things can't be true. Like, you know, if you put an intention out there, then of course, one way that things manifest is that you deliberately take action steps to cause that thing to come into fruition.
Right.
So that is true. That is a part of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is that unconscious part of us that puts an intention out of there, and unconsciously you're kind of manipulating and moving yourself in line with making that thing come into manifestation.
Right.
I mean, the thing about the law of attraction for me is that, I mean, we are creators, we're co-creators, and you are creating whether you do it consciously or unconsciously.
Agreed.
And so understanding the law of attraction is just making the choice of doing it consciously. And you can do it the way that Great Dane said, through causation and correlation,
mm-hmm.
or you can do it in more of a passive is the wrong word, but I don't have the actual word.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
But you understand what I'm saying. In
mm-hmm.
a more passive way, you
mm-hmm.
can allow things to come into fruition too. And then you can also be
a little bit more proactive about it and make choices for yourself to make things come into fruition maybe a little faster. So like all sorts of those kind of combinations of things have happened for me. And I mean, things from like the place where I live or the kind of job that I have or what I wanted to do for work, like all those sort of things. But I mean, it's a lot more fun creating if you're conscious about it and then
Agreed.
being responsible for what you create. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people, that they're choosing or they're creating unconsciously and then they're not happy with the end product. And it's because it's like driving without your hand being on the steering wheel. If you're not going to steer, then yeah, you're going to end up somewhere that you are not going to like,
Very good way of putting that. Very good illustration.
But another thing that I was wanting to mention too about feeling deserving, and I do think that's an important piece of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of XJWs don't have that sense of self-worth.
Right.
And I don't know if I heard it on your show or maybe it was someone else's show, but it was about the New World Translation and how we constantly it was constantly told to us that God's kindness to us was undeserved kindness. And that's throughout the New World Translation.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about God's undeserved kindness. Well, what I learned is that what the translators of the New World Translation did is they took a word that other translations have translated as grace. And they took that word grace and they changed it to undeserved kindness.
Wow.
Now, to me, grace has a whole different resonance and vibration than undeserved kindness. Grace is something that you extend to someone out of a sense of benevolence, like you're extending your goodwill to them, and you see something of value in someone when you're extending them grace, if it's just their humanity. But when you talk about undeserved kindness, that has a whole other vibration. Like it's almost like begrudgingly, like I'm going to do this for you, but you don't really deserve it.
Exactly. That's not love at all. One comes from a place of love, and one comes from a place that's not from love.
Exactly. And so when you have people that you are conditioning to hear that God's kindness to you is undeserved, and that's over and over and over again, 6 hours a week, upon decades that people are Jehovah's Witnesses, of course that's going to affect your sense of self-worth. You are going to feel that you're undeserving. You don't deserve. So, I mean, I really hate to think of the organization as being sinister, but that's kind of sinister. Do you know what I mean?
It's not kind of sinister. That shit is sinister, whether it's intentional or unintentional. That shit is sinister.
Exactly. And as you said, whether it's intentional or unintentional, that is sinister. To make people believe and feel that our Creator doesn't really love you. He's begrudgingly being kind to you. So it's just, I could go on and on and on, but yeah, I do think that it's really important that ex-Jehovah's Witnesses really wrap their mind around their sense of self-worth and deserving of good things,
Agreed. 100%.
Yep. So that's all I wanted to say.
Well, thank you for calling. That was a really great call. I wish I had my sound effects so I could give you and Great Dane both a big round of applause. I'll work on that tonight, so for tomorrow's show I can give you guys a round of applause. But thank you so much for calling in. That was great.
You're welcome.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay.
Great calls tonight, guys. Great calls. Let's look at... Oh, my Mango Bango is in the chat. What's up, my Mango Bango? Today Forever says, call Miracle Money Girl. That girl knows she stole that money. Ain't nobody mad at you. Nobody's mad at you for stealing that money. That was money. That was a gift from the universe. You better steal that money. You better take that gift from the universe. The universe said, here, steal this money, motherfucker. Go. Don't say that. Just don't look suspicious. Just take it. Go. My Mango Bango says, I obsess about it and try and make myself believe by watching faith videos, but I just can't swallow the far-fetched Bible stories. Man, if we keep reading this, Todd is going to call in. Deidre says, looking at the wonders of the universe and even our human bodies, the intricacies of how the physical bodies are put together, and each little part works with other parts, I cannot not believe in God. It's great statement. Today Forever says, I got let go from a job. My first thought was I wanted to buy my first car. I kept thinking about it and made up my mind. 2 days later, I had 2 checks from Uncle Sam that came to me after 5 years late. Logical Reasoning says, he probably has to go. Let me see how this moved it. Thanks for the show tonight, even though you're tired after a long day, Keith. Not everyone have to go. Yeah, Logical Reasoning has to get up out of here. He said, I'm not staying on this all night with you guys. Miss Bailey says, hey, Keith, preach, sister. What's up, Miss Bailey? Where's your tether at? Where's your tether? Miss Bailey says, preach, sister. Tina Marie says, Gypsy says, we were always taught to believe that positivity surrounds us when we have the Holy Spirit. Okay. Tina Marie says, exactly, and that's the issue with Christianity as a whole. Okay. What's up, Self-Care Boss? You are in here. You missed a whole bunch. My Mango Bango says, I see the complexity of nature and am in awe at how strong bonds of love can be. So I guess I believe in a creator, but he doesn't seem to care for us personally or answer prayers from what I see. Interesting. Gypsy Lily says, that's where I'm stuck too, Deidre. Does the law of attraction really exist, or is it because there really is a creator out there? Are they the same thing, or are they separate? That is a very good question. I think we should expound on that. Miss Betty says she's watching conspiracy videos about Nipsey. All right, I'm not even getting started on that rabbit hole, man. We will be going down that thing. Deidre says, well, I should not be trying to change anyone's beliefs about God, but I really, really don't want anyone to suffer any sadness or feeling of being just thrown here and left to their own devices. Okay. Cleo Banks says, wow, she's right. The thought of manifesting sounds difficult to me because I say to myself, who am I to get what I want? I will never get it. Can I manifest self-esteem, or is it only physical things? Wow. Guys, these are some really good thoughts. What's up, my Mango Bango? Self-Care Boss, when you say they are the same, what exactly are you talking about? Let's first look at what Gypsy Lily says. Does the law of attraction really exist, or is it because there really is a creator out there? Are they the same thing, or are they separate? Here's something that me and my friend Todd were talking about when we were driving down to Atlanta, and I didn't really think about it until he, I really wish that he would call in. Todd is a musician, guys, and if any of you out there like Prince, my boy Todd, literally everybody is like, this dude is the reincarnation of Prince. He is an amazing guitarist, musician. This dude is cool, and he's a very intelligent brother. Really intelligent brother. This is the dude I was telling you that went out on the date with the girl the other day, and I had to go for a walk because they were all into each other, and I felt like a third wheel. So I said, let me get out of here and go for a walk. And his Mac game down. So I had to say, let me go ahead and get out of here. But he brought up something really interesting, and he was what he was, to paraphrase what he was saying. He was saying, you know what, Todd? Why don't you just explain? Why don't you just come over here for a second and explain what you were saying about how the law of attraction is based on the Bible?
Oh, okay. You want me to call in?
You can call. You can just come over here into the camera. I mean, you right there. All right, guys. This is my friend Todd. This is a really good brother, man. A really good friend. I've known Todd for a very long time. And he's gonna come over here, and we're gonna talk about.
Hey, what's up?
This is my boy Todd, man. This is an amazing musician right here. Is there another chair in here, Todd? All right. So Todd, explain what you were explaining about how the law of attraction to you just sounded like what the Bible was basically saying. And I'm gonna.
Let me get the Bible.
All right. So we're gonna go deep tonight, guys. It's gonna hold on, guys. Let me put this in this. This might freeze. It may freeze because of the internet, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. We're having the bandwidth might fluctuate because of the bandwidth. So give me 1 second. So this is my friend Todd, and I really want Todd to be able to explain what I'm saying about this topic. All right.
Okay, I was just telling Keith that really a lot of these things like the law of attraction are really principles that are based on scripture, on God's word, because like I heard Keith say earlier is that the Most High Yahweh, when he created everything, he spoke it into existence, and we're created in his image. So we have I'll say I believe, because I'm not pulling up any scriptures. And I try not to say anything that I don't have scripture for, but I've always believed that since we're his creation, he's given us, some of those, chip off the old block. But I want to go to, let me look at, hang on a sec. Okay. Let me go to Romans 4:16-22. Let me see if this is a precept that I want. No, that's not it. Hang on, y'all.
Watch.
Let's see if I can find what I need.
I'm gonna bring the mic closer to him too. Thanks, Gypsy.
Hang on, what's that? Okay, so like in Romans 4:17, it talks about I'm paraphrasing. It says, "Tell us that Yahweh quickeneth the dead and calleth those things which not be as though they were." So basically, the Most High, he speaks the end from the beginning, so it's like in the law of attraction, you concentrate, you imagine, you focus on the thing that you want. You don't necessarily worry how you're going to get there. Because like George Clinton said, free your mind and your ass will follow. That's what happens. I mean, it's crazy, but that's what happens. I mean, I remember when I first found out about how, Oprah Winfrey and the law of attraction, The Secret and everything came out. I was like, wow, these are just Bible principles that have been taken. They won't give the credit to the Most High Yahweh, the Creator God, because people are indifferent. Some people don't believe in God. Some people are spiritual. They want to say the universe or however. But I was explaining to Keith, the creative power, the Most High Yahweh, he created the universe. So you can go directly to the source. You just have to make sure that what you're asking for lines up with, the word, if you're a believer, what I'm saying, if you profess to be a Christian, because some things the God of this world can give you things too. So don't get it twisted. I mean, you can get things coming and going, depending on where your heart and intentions are. So, I don't know. That's all I had to say, really. I mean, that's all I got, Keith.
That's what's up, man. Thanks, Todd. Todd is a deep brother, man. We had some really good conversations on our way down here, man. And I think what he is saying is very it's very applicable.
I'm sorry, now I'm finding you can tell them Proverbs 18:21, because life and death are in the power of the tongue. You have what you say.
Hold on, come on. You can't just say that over there and not bring it over here, bro.
All right, so I found some of my precepts. So all right, so if you look at Proverbs 18:21, the word says that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So it's like you have what you say. You know, so you liken that to the world that says, okay, let's keep a positive confession, or let's have some affirmations on the mirror. Basically, that's Proverbs 18:21. Okay, then Matthew 21, Matthew 12, 21 and 22. All things whatsoever ye ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. There's another precept. We can go to Mark chapter 11, verse 22 through 24. And Yahushua answering saith unto them, have faith in Yahweh. So he's the creator, you know, and he's the one that gives us the desires of our heart, so to speak. So anyway, there's a bunch, you know. 2 Corinthians 4:13 is another good precept. We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed and therefore I have spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. So it's just about speaking, confessing with your mouth, you know, believing, and just walking into the fruition of what you're believing. That's all I got.
All right, bro. Thanks, man. All right, brother. So yeah, I see what he's saying. It made a lot of sense. I thought about it, and I said, you know, I really didn't even think about it like that. That a lot of that is just a lot of things that the Bible already says. So, is the law of attraction just based on the Bible, or is it something that someone plagiarized from the Bible and now is making money off of it, pretending as if there's something that they invented themselves? That's another thing that he was saying too. So let's look back at here at this chat. KB says there are all sorts of spiritual laws in the Bible, but they are covered over and hidden by religion. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Very good point. Does anybody else have any stories they want to say about this? Let's put the number back in here because we've had some good calls tonight. We've had some good calls. How long have we been on tonight? We started at, damn, it's already been an hour and a half. Deidre says, that is why we should never try to work out the how to make it happen. We can never figure it out. Our only business is to know what we want. Now, I will say this. The last time me and Todd came down here, we were talking about our dream cars. Todd showed me a picture of his dream car, and I showed him a picture of my dream car. My dream car is a 2015 Jaguar F-Type. That's my dream car. Okay. Now I showed it to him. He was like, "Man, that's dope." I said, "Dude, this is my dream car. I'm gonna get it by the end of the year. This is gonna be my dream car. This is gonna be it. I'm gonna have it." And so last night I had a dream that I was driving my F-Type, and these people crowded around it. And I got out and I was lifting the hood and I was showing them my F-Type, all that junk. All right. So then we got to our hotel. And then when we went to the front desk, we asked them how much it was going to be this time. And they was like $80 a night. And we were like, oh, no. So Todd said, "Hey, I called this Days Inn up the street and they're cheaper, and I think it has nicer rooms." I said, "Okay." So we went up there, went to the front desk, got our room, and as I was leaving, I looked and a big picture was on the front desk, and it was for a car repair service. And on the cover of this flyer were 6 Jaguar F-Types. Each one was a different color. And I looked at Todd. I said, "Todd, come here." He said, "What?" I said, "Look at this flyer right here." He said, "That's your dream car." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "Now what?" I said, "Now, Todd, for real, what are the chances of me telling you a few days ago that this is my dream car, me having a dream about it last night, us going to our original hotel room, not be our hotel, that's not being our hotel, going to another hotel, and then when we get to that hotel, it has a flyer with 6 Jaguar F-Types on it." I said, "Hey, that's synchronicity." And so that's something I think that happens a lot too with the law of attraction. Once you start to manifest things, you start to notice a lot of synchronicities, a lot of things that happen that you think this shit couldn't have just happened. There's something behind why this thing happened. So that has happened to me a lot since I started meditating, having a lot more gratitude for the things I already have instead of just wishing I had a lot of other things. I always, every morning, talk about how grateful I am for the things I have. I'm grateful for the car I have now. But everybody has, wants and desires. So I've wanted that car for a long time before I even got my new car. That's always been my dream car. So yeah, we have things that we want, but we have to be grateful for the shit that we have now, But those synchronicities happen a lot once you start really meditating and being grateful for things and clearing your mind and just letting things happen. You will see so many synchronicities. With me, one thing that happens a lot is I see a lot of numerology in my life. I see the number 333 everywhere. Everywhere I go, 333, 333, 333. And I looked up what it means, and it has to do with a change happening in your life and you being connected with the ability to be able to create more things in your life. Now, I know that sounds a little whimsical, but the fact that it happens so much, it's just kind of undeniable. I'll see it happen, and it happens so much that I think something is going on. This is really weird. So there's something to it. I know everyone has their own belief system, but there is something to it. KB says, "I think synchronicity is the universe's way of letting you know that you're on the right frequency." I agree with that. Daniel Brown says, "Keith's story reminds me of the times when I've thought of someone from my past, and a few minutes later they appear." That has happened to me a lot too. Happens a lot. Does anybody else have a story if they want to share about the law of attraction, or something they just want to say about it? They want to say they agree with it, they disagree with it. Tell me what you think. 615-412-9335. Now I'm going to go ahead. It's 10 o'clock here, and I got to get up early to get started in the morning. So I'm not going to be on too much longer. But if we have some more people that would like to call in and talk about their stories and what they think about the law of attraction. Also, guys, I want to talk about what Cleo Banks said too. "The thought of manifesting sounds difficult to me because I say to myself, who am I to get what I want? I will never get it. Can I manifest self-esteem, or is it only physical things?" That is a very, very, very strong question. And there are things called affirmations. And a lot of people don't need affirmations. A lot of people may just already know that they deserve whatever they deserve. I've always been a confident person in certain aspects of my life. Like when it comes to my ability. Keith, can I share my notes from earlier? Yes, totally, Deidre. And if you want to direct those notes directly to Cleo, that would be amazing. So I think Cleo needs to hear some things, and maybe not just her. She wasn't the one who even said that. It was someone else, and she just agreed with it. So yeah, totally. Today Forever says 111 everywhere for me. My birthday is 111 also. Man, I see I see 333 777. I actually see 3333 333 7777 777 0000. Those are the numbers that I see literally 5 to 10 times a day, every day. But affirmations are some things that some people just need. Sometimes we have to say to ourselves the things that we need to believe for ourselves. Because sometimes we don't have anyone else to depend on for our self. And actually, self-esteem is not something that we should depend on someone else for anyway. It should come from us. That's why they call it self-esteem. And even though we have allowed someone to affect negatively our self-esteem as XJWs and as, I guess, normal people in the world as well, it is also something that we ourselves can boost. So yes, you can manifest self-esteem. You can manifest all of that. It just has to do with you starting to believe, for lack of a better term, believe your own hype. Because if you don't believe in yourself, man, it's going to be hard for you to make someone else believe in you. And it all starts with you. Everything starts with you. It all starts with ourselves. And we have to get to a point where we have enough arrogance in our confidence in ourselves to be arrogant about ourselves. And I don't mean arrogant in a jackass way, but we have to be arrogant enough to be confident in ourselves and confident in our greatness, because all of us are great, man. JJ Jr. says, my law of attraction is crazy. Everything I need comes and I still don't appreciate it. Pray for me. Yeah, you need to start appreciating your shit, bro. Start appreciating your shit. Okay, fits my life at hotmail.com. KB says, I do a lot of work with energy. Emotions are frequencies on the emotional scale. Low self-esteem are lower frequencies, just like learning to play an instrument and learning the sound of the keys. You have to practice the frequency. Very good illustration. Very good illustration. Very good illustration. You know what? I think we may end up having a part 2 to this conversation. All right, we got a call coming in. All right, what is your name and where you're calling from?
Hey, Keith, it's Dee Dee again, or Deidre.
What's going on, Deidre?
By the way, nobody in my life calls me Deidre, so please, everybody call me Dee Dee.
All right, Dee Dee. Go ahead and help these young ladies out. Tell her what's on your mind.
I'm not sure. Well, I hope what I have to share will help someone. But I wrote this earlier. I may have already said some of this stuff. I wasn't, looking at the screen or anything when I was speaking, or I was just talking off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. But these notes are more organized, and so it may, help somebody or get through to someone in whatever way they need it to. So can I read this stuff for you?
Go right ahead.
Okay, here we go. I was writing some things down earlier, and here we go. Like attracts like. It means that whatever we feel about, we bring about. It's not simply whatever we think, but whatever we think with much feeling. Whether the things we think are good or bad, if they're accompanied with feeling, with emotion, as if it's happening or it's, real, that is what is attracted. So we attract people, situations, and circumstances. The moment we know what we want and decide to have it, the universe goes to work on our behalf to bring the people, situations, and circumstances into our lives that would best help us along and across what are called like bridges of incidents that without our desiring certain things, we would never have crossed because we wouldn't have been interested. We would not have been on the same vibratory level as those things. And about vibrations. Vibration is energy. Someone said that in the chat earlier. Mm-hmm. Everything vibrates. I think the highest vibration must be like feeling like God, and the lowest is maybe death.
Okay.
But everything in between vibrates at various levels, you know. Things that make us happy cause us to vibrate at high levels and brings happy, you know, good things to us, whereas the things that make us sad and depressed do just the opposite. Or should I say our feeling sad and depressed brings sad and depressed things to us that we will experience, you know. I want to say also, I love the idea that it was our Creator's way of empowering us to make our lives as we desire it to be. And it's so simple and easy for us that it works whether we're thinking about it or not, whether we understand it or not, you know, and whether we think about how it works or not. It just always works. We're always attracting something, whatever it is we're feeling inside. There's a scripture, I think it's, I'm so horrible at scriptures or knowing scriptures, but I think it's Luke 21 something. But anyway, it says, as within, so without. And that means that whatever we have inside, we're putting out into the universe, and it's bringing us back that exact same thing, you know? So,
Agreed.
you know, yeah. And there's something else. Oh, it says, it's about the subconscious. It says that this might help Cleo Banks.
Okay.
It says the subconscious is not concerned with the truth or falsity of your feeling. It always accepts as true that which you feel to be true. Feeling is the expression of approval of the subconscious to the truth of that which is declared to be. Because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to man. You know, whatever you want, whether it's a new personality, you know, like me, for instance. I told you I was shy. And speaking earlier and speaking now is my manifestation of not wanting to be shy. You know, wanting to be, you know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And so, yes, because of this quality of the subconscious, there is nothing impossible to man. I said that. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and feel as true, the subconscious can and must objectify. That's the way the law works.
Okay.
So claim yourself to be the thing desired, and you will be it.
There you go.
You have to.
There you go.
That's the way the law works.
That's the way the law works. Tell them, Dee Dee.
So that's it.
All right, Dee Dee. Thank you for calling back.
Yes.
Hopefully you helped Cleo and a
Absolutely.
lot of other people. I really appreciate you calling, Dee Dee. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All
okay.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Great call, man. Great call. Great call. So you know what, guys? I feel like there's another part that we can explore in this conversation. Let me think about the topic, because it doesn't need to be this exact same topic, but I feel like there is something else that we can discuss, especially after what Great Dane said. A lot of the conversation we've had, I think there's a little bit more we can explore. So we'll figure out what tomorrow's topic will be, and then I'll let you guys know. The chat is growing, guys. More people are coming into the show. It's looking good. It's getting better. It's great. If you haven't liked already, please like on your way out so we can just get these likes up and get more people in here for the next discussion, because the more people we have in here, the more people we can help, guys. So tomorrow we'll do the same time, 7:30. I'll figure out the topic and exactly how it's going to play out, and then I'll let you guys know. Of course, I'll send the reminders out. But guys, thank you as always for joining me. I'm going to get in here and get some sleep because I'm tired than a mug. Been driving all day. So I'm going to get in here and get some sleep. And I will see you all tomorrow, 7:30 sharp. All right? Peace. Love you guys.